Hi everyone. In this video we're going to discuss about some of the large sample tests. So these large sample tests that we are going to discuss is based on the normal distribution. So this is the fifth video on the testing of hypothesis that we are going to discuss, and we're going to discuss about some of the tests. So before going to what is a large sample test, we shall categorize the sample into a small sample and a large sample. So if the sample size of the sample we are choosing is less than 30, then we say such a sample is a small sample. But our concentration in this video is on the large sample. So if the sample size is greater than 30, we say that the sample selected is a large sample. So if it is greater than 30, say if n is 50 or 30 or 35 or 40 or a larger value, like say n is equal to 500 or so, we say it is a large sample test or it is a large sample. And if the sample size is less than 30, that is any value less than 30, we say such a sample is called a small sample. So before moving on to what is a large sample procedure, we have to make some assumptions. We have told in the title of the video that this is about the large sample test based on normal distribution. So the first and foremost assumption that we are going to make is that the sample distribution of the statistics is approximately normal. So for any test we know we will have a hypothesis H0 and an alternative hypothesis H1, which we accept on rejecting of the null hypothesis. So if we reject the null hypothesis, we have to accept the alternative hypothesis, and that is something that we have to test. So for the test procedure, we will have a critical region and we will have a test statistic. So depending on the value of the test statistic and whether that value belongs to the critical region or the acceptance region, we make a decision. So here what we are going to do is we are going to check what is the distribution or what is the sampling distribution of this statistic. So for the large sample properties, the basic assumption is that the sampling distribution of the statistic is of the test statistic is approximately normal. So that normality assumption is of so importance. Okay, so now the next assumption is that the sample values, we are going to take a decision based on the sample, isn't it? Yes, we are going to take a decision about the population parameter based on the sample values. So depending on the sample values is what our decision is going to be. Therefore, the sample values are sufficiently close to population values is the next assumption. That means there is no much variation between the sample values and the population values. So if these two assumptions are satisfied, only then we move on to the large sample procedures. So next, in the next video, we shall discuss about the testing of hypothesis concerning the mean of the population, and this is a very short video about what is a large sample, what is a small sample, and what are some of the assumptions that we assume before moving on to the large samples. Thank you.